Listen closely, Aries. There's a moment in your life when everything goes quiet, and the universe finally whispers the truth you were never meant to miss. Maybe you've felt it these past days, that subtle shift, that pause inside your chest, as if something or someone is getting closer, not by chance, not by accident, but by design. Because tonight, the cosmos is ready to reveal the one thing your heart has been waiting to understand: who your true love really is, their age, their energy, and the exact moment they step into your story. So, take a breath, let your guard down for just a moment. You survived enough storms to earn this clarity. And Aries, if any part of you feels like this message is meant for you, leave a comment, subscribe, and stay with me. We're about to open a door you were destined to walk through. Aries, let me stay here with you for a moment. Just you and me, no noise, no expectations, no pressure to be strong or to pretend you're fine. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is simply breathe and allow yourself to feel what your heart has been carrying in silence. You know, healing never announces itself. It doesn't knock on your door and say it's time. It just arrives quietly, almost unnoticed, in the spaces between your thoughts. And lately, whether you've said it out loud or not, something inside you has been shifting, a soft recalibration, a reset of the heart, as if the universe reached in and gently placed its hand over your chest, whispering, "Not yet, but soon." And Aries, I know you. You're not someone who breaks easily. But when you love with every piece of yourself. And when something ends, it doesn't just disappear from your mind. It leaves imprints, shadows, echoes of the promises you once believed in. You don't show it to the world, but the truth is, your soul has been tired, not defeated, just tired. And that's why this season of healing matters so much. It's not punishment, it's preparation. Your heart isn't being slowed down. It's being recalibrated so it can recognize the right person when they finally step into your life. The kind of love that doesn't drain you, but steadies you. The kind that doesn't ask you to shrink, but invites you to unfold. This healing is happening in layers, in the way you're beginning to trust your timing again, in the way you're remembering that you deserve to receive, not chase, in the way you're becoming softer without losing your fire, stronger without becoming guarded, clearer without becoming cold. Aries, you no longer crave the chaos of almost love. You no longer settle for someone who only gives you half of themselves. You're craving something that feels grounded, honest, real, a love with structure, a love with truth, a love that meets you where you are and doesn't pull you back into old versions of yourself. And that's the beautiful thing about healing. It doesn't just repair what was broken. It reveals who you are now. It shows you the difference between what once attracted you and what now aligns with you. Let yourself notice that difference. Let yourself rest inside it, because the universe is guiding you into a relationship where you won't have to guess or beg or explain why you deserve to be chosen. You will be seen from the beginning. You will be valued without asking. You will feel safe without fighting for safety. And that safety won't make you softer. It will make you truer. It will make you more you. This healing is not the end of something. It is the doorway to someone whose presence won't disturb your peace, but deepen it. Someone whose heart won't confuse you, but steady you. Someone who feels like a quiet yes in a world full of loud maybes. Stay with me, Aries, because this shift you're feeling, this softness returning, this calm that hasn't touched you in years, it isn't random. It's the signal that your story is turning, that love is being rearranged behind the scenes, that destiny is beginning to move its pieces into place. And as this healing settles into you, like warm light at the end of a long night, something else begins to rise, a new truth, a new frequency, a new invitation, the moment where you stop questioning whether love is meant for you and start realizing it's already on its way. And that, Aries, is where our story gently opens into its next chapter. Aries, stay right here with me for a moment. There is something tender, almost fragile, about this part of your journey. It is the quiet place where the truth begins to loosen the knots you have carried for years. You may not say it out loud, but I know you have held certain beliefs the way a person holds their breath underwater, trying not to feel the weight of them. These quiet thoughts, these private fears, They were never weakness. They were protection. A shield built out of the moments life taught you to expect less than what your heart truly deserved. But there comes a time when the soul begins to unclench, and that time, Aries, is now. You see, you never lacked the capacity to love. What you lacked was someone who honored the depth of that love, someone who didn't treat your sincerity as a convenience, someone who didn't mistake your fire for something they could dim or control. And after a while, without meaning to, you started whispering small untruths to yourself. Maybe love is for other people. Maybe honesty is too much to hope for. Maybe devotion only exists in stories. These sentences may have lived in the background of your mind, like low static, barely noticeable, but powerful enough to shape the way you let people close. And yet, here you are, letting the universe rearrange everything you once believed about connection, worthiness, timing. This is the part of your story where the old narratives begin to dissolve, where the scarcity you carried in your chest gives way to a different rhythm, a fuller one, a warmer one. Because Aries, your heart was never the problem. It was the people who didn't know what to do with it. And now, something extraordinary begins to happen. You are shifting from survival to expansion, from caution to clarity, from wondering whether love will ever find you, to realizing that it has been waiting for you to make room. This new cycle isn't about longing, it's about receiving. When you stop loving from emptiness, you stop attracting people who feed on it. When you stop accepting crumbs, you stop inviting those who only offer half of themselves. When you begin to feel whole on your own, the right partner doesn't complete you. They meet you. This is the frequency your future person is drawn to. Not to your wounds, not to your history, but to the quiet strength rising inside you now. The strength that says, I know what I bring. I know what I deserve. I know what I will no longer tolerate. And the universe responds to that kind of truth. It always does. Aries, this is why the next chapter of your love life looks nothing like the last one. You are attracting someone who arrives with steadiness, not confusion. Someone who sees you without needing to be convinced. Someone who brings peace, not chaos. Presence, not promises. A love that does not take from your fire, but bows to it. And as these old beliefs fall away, like dust shaken from a long-worn coat, something else begins to rise in their place. A sense of possibility. A quiet awareness that the path ahead is widening, brightening, pulling you towards someone who feels aligned with the person you are becoming. Let yourself breathe that in. Let yourself soften into it, because this shift inside you is not the end of anything. It is the beginning of a deeper opening, a subtle awakening, a readiness for what's coming next. And as this new clarity settles around you, almost like light finding its way through a long, closed window, another realization begins to surface, one that changes the way you look at the days ahead, and the way love is about to move toward you. And that, Aries, gently leads us into the next layer of your story. Aries, if you sit quietly for just a second, you might notice it, that faint shift in the air around you, like the world is inhaling before something beautiful arrives. It's subtle, but undeniable, a kind of inner thaw after a long season of holding yourself together. Hope is returning to you, slowly at first, like morning light finding its way across the floor. You may not have realized how heavy your spirit had become, how long you walked with your shoulders lifted just to keep from collapsing under everything life asked of you. But something inside you is lifting now. Not because someone entered your life, not because a promise was made, but because your soul finally has space to breathe again. This is what transformation feels like. Quiet, gentle, familiar. A soft remembering of the parts of you that went dim but never disappeared. And Aries, you've always been the kind of person who carries fire in your chest, even when the world tried to smother it, even when disappointment made you doubt its glow. But look at you now, feeling the warmth again, the spark returning, the pulse of something new rising beneath your ribs. You see, hope doesn't always arrive with fireworks. Sometimes it comes in the form of relief, in the form of waking up one day and realizing your heart doesn't hurt the same way it used to, in the form of catching yourself smiling at nothing, and wondering what part of your future just brushed up against your spirit. What you're feeling is not random. It is alignment. It is preparation. It is your energy ascending to meet a version of love that you couldn't have held before. And the person who is moving toward you, Aries, they don't come to ignite chaos. They come to awaken truth, They carry a frequency that resonates with the deeper, wiser parts of you. The parts that survived, the parts that healed, the parts that refuse to settle ever again. Their presence will not feel like a storm. It will feel like recognition, like someone gently placing a hand on a door that has always been locked, and somehow knowing exactly how to open it. This is why the hope rising in you now is real, because it isn't tied to a specific face or story. It's tied to your readiness. It's tied to the work you've done quietly, privately, without applause. It's tied to the moment you stopped needing love to save you and started allowing it to meet you. And that shift, that inner grounding, is what draws them closer. Not longing, not searching, not fear, but readiness. Love finds people who are no longer hiding from themselves. And Aries, as this new energy unfolds in you, something softens. The armor you wore for so long begins to loosen. The walls you built out of necessity begin to thin. Not because you are vulnerable, but because you are no longer threatened by the idea of being seen. That's what hope does. It doesn't ask you to leap. It just asks you to stop stepping backward, to stop dimming, to stop apologizing for wanting something real. And in that stillness, in that quiet reawakening, a new truth stirs. What is meant for you is already on its way. Stay close to this feeling. Don't rush it. Let it bloom in its own time, because as hope anchors itself deeper into your spirit, another layer of your story begins to reveal itself, a layer shaped by the past and the echoes of someone who once held too much space in your heart. And gently, almost imperceptibly, we begin to step toward that part of the journey now. Aries. There's something we need to talk about quietly, gently, like two old friends sitting together at the end of a long night. Because transformation doesn't just open the door to what is coming. Sometimes it also shines a soft, honest light on what can no longer stay. And I know you've felt it, that strange tug from the past, that familiar energy that tries to circle back as if time hasn't moved, as if your growth hasn't changed everything about who you are now. There is a person who still believes they have access to you, as if your heart were a place they could walk in and out of whenever they felt lonely, or restless, or afraid of losing their grip on you. But the truth is, the version of you they knew no longer exists. You've been shifting, quietly, powerfully, and the old patterns can't reach you the way they once did. You see, when your spirit rises, not everyone rises with you. Some people stay attached to the memory of who you used to be. They don't see your healing. They don't feel your boundaries. They only feel the absence of the control they once had. And, Aries, your heart is too valuable to be treated like a revolving door. You have spent enough time being the one who tried, the one who gave the benefit of the doubt, the one who forgave without being asked, the one who believed potential more than reality. But you're waking up from that now, aren't you? You're seeing things more clearly. Not with bitterness, but with a kind of quiet wisdom. You're beginning to understand that intensity is not intimacy, and chemistry is not commitment. Some connections are powerful, but still wrong for the soul. And the universe is gently reminding you, you were never meant to shrink so someone else could feel bigger. You were never meant to dim your light so someone else could avoid seeing their own shadows. The person you once loved may circle back, but they are not the destination your heart is moving toward. They are a chapter, not the ending, not the promise. And I know a part of you wonders what would happen if you opened that door again, if things could be different, if all the lessons you learned could somehow rewrite the story. But deep down, you already know the truth. The more you grow, the less that past version of love fits you. What once felt magnetic now feels draining. What once felt exciting now feels small. What once felt inevitable now feels complete. You are not abandoning the past, Aries. You are honoring it by letting it stay where it belongs. And there is something profoundly freeing about understanding this. It creates space. It clears the noise. It softens the emotional clutter that once kept you tied to what hurt you. This clarity is not just closure, it's preparation. It's the universe clearing a path so the right person doesn't have to fight through the wrong energy to find you. And as this truth settles into you, like dust finally choosing a place to rest, another realization begins to form, a recognition that life is not taking something from you. It's making room for something else, something steadier, something safer, something that moves toward you without hesitation. So breathe, Aries. Let the past fall where it may. Because just beyond this release, another presence begins to rise on your horizon. And without forcing it, without rushing it, your story begins to drift toward the next unfolding. Aries, let me sit with you here, in this quiet pause between what has ended and what has not yet begun. There is a kind of stillness life brings when something important is being rearranged on your behalf. Not a punishment, not a setback, just a gentle slowing, a sacred redirection. The universe placing a hand on your shoulder and whispering, "Not yet. You're not meant to rush through this part." I know you feel it. The delays, the loose ends that refuse to tie themselves. The plans that should have come together by now, but haven't. And I know how frustrating that can be for a heart like yours. You move with fire, with instinct, with a desire to push forward, to create momentum, to finally step into the next chapter you've been craving. But sometimes the path narrows on purpose. Sometimes the noise quiets down because you're meant to hear something deeper inside yourself. Sometimes life slows you, not to stop you, but to protect you from arriving too soon, before the pieces are ready, before the person meant for you has reached their own moment of clarity. What you're experiencing right now isn't failure. It's alignment in disguise. These temporary obstacles, the financial strain, the emotional fatigue, the hesitation in your spirit, they're not here to break you. They're here to shape you, to bring you back into balance with your own truth, to help you remember what you will accept and what you never will again. And Aries, you needed this pause more than you realize, because the version of you stepping into your next relationship is steadier, clearer, less willing to negotiate your worth just to keep someone close. This time, you're not choosing love from fear of being alone. You're choosing from abundance, from strength, from a place inside you that finally knows you deserve someone who meets you without hesitation. And that shift, that subtle but powerful transformation, is why these delays are happening. You're being calibrated to a higher frequency, one that attracts partnership, not dependency. Co-creation, not chaos. Growth, not repetition. Life is not withholding anything from you. It's preparing you for what's already on the way. You're moving toward a connection that feels like two hands reaching for the same future at the same pace. A relationship where you don't have to guess, or chase, or shrink. A love built on trust that grows quietly, naturally, at the speed your soul can finally handle. And as these obstacles begin to soften, as the pressure slowly lifts, you'll feel it. An opening, a clearing, as if the air around you becomes lighter, as if the path ahead widens, without effort. Because when the timing is right, everything aligns with almost impossible ease. You won't have to force anything. You won't have to bend yourself out of shape. The right person will meet you exactly where you are, carrying their own readiness, their own healing, their own desire to build something real. This is what you're being prepared for. A partnership that doesn't take from you, but joins you. A future that isn't carried alone, but shared. And as this realization settles quietly into your heart, another awareness begins to surface, one that has less to do with delays, and more to do with destiny. A subtle invitation, calling you to look toward the horizon where someone is slowly, steadily beginning to move in your direction. And that, Aries, is where our story begins to turn toward the shape of the one who is meant to find you. Aries, as we sit here in this moment together, I want you to notice something subtle rising inside you. A quiet anticipation, a soft stirring in the chest, almost like your spirit knows someone is getting closer. Not imagined, not forced, just a gentle recognition, like a breeze carrying a familiar scent you can't quite name. That's often how destiny approaches us, not with noise, but with a whisper, not with certainty, but with a pull, a sense that your life is beginning to align with someone who has been walking their own long path toward you. And this person, Aries, is not like the ones who came before. Their energy doesn't crash into your life. It arrives like light slipping through a half-open doorway, warm, steady, unmistakably real. There's something distinct about them, almost immediately. A maturity that doesn't depend on age, a softness that doesn't weaken them, a strength that doesn't overwhelm you, but meets you, holds you, steadies you in ways you didn't expect. It's funny how life works. When someone is meant for you, the differences that used to make you hesitate start feeling like the pieces that make the puzzle complete. Maybe it's the age gap, that small detail that would have worried you years ago. But now it feels natural. If you're a woman, you may find yourself guiding a man who is younger but strangely wiser than people twice his age, someone whose soul has grown faster than his years. If you're a man, you may encounter a woman who carries more life experience, more grace, more emotional clarity, not to overshadow you, but to match you, to walk with you, to elevate the way you once viewed love. There's an elegance about them, not loud, not crafted, just present. Their eyes hold a lightness, a clarity, the kind that makes you pause because it feels like they already see you. Not the version you show the world, but the one beneath everything. Their hair catches the sun in a soft glow, whether it leans blonde or light brown, or something in between. Their presence feels familiar, though you don't know why. And the way they carry themselves, it's effortless. If she's the one coming toward you, her style is simple but refined. Jeans, soft fabrics, those natural blue or earth tones that seem to settle into the air around her. If he's the one, he steps into your life with a kind of quiet discipline, clothes pressed, posture relaxed but confident, a man who looks like he understands responsibility, because he's lived it. But what truly distinguishes them isn't how they look, it's how they show up. Honesty first, not perfection, not charm, just truth delivered without fear, emotional clarity, not the avoidance you've known, not the games, just someone who actually speaks what they feel, who asks questions, who listens, who tries. And perhaps most importantly, they invest, not only in the moment, but in the future, in the slow, steady building of something that lasts. You'll notice this long before you admit it to yourself, a calmness in your chest, a sense of being met for the first time in a long time, as if life is saying, "Here, Aries, this is what all the healing has been leading you toward." And as that realization settles deeper, something else begins to unfold, a feeling that the timing of their arrival is no accident at all, that they appear precisely when the path between you finally clears, opening into a chapter neither of you has lived before. Aries. Timing has always been tricky for you, hasn't it? You move fast, you feel fast, you love with a fire that doesn't know how to wait. But destiny? Destiny has its own rhythm, and right now, if you slow down just enough, you can almost feel that rhythm syncing with your own heartbeat. A quiet thump, a soft echo, a sense that something, or someone, is moving toward you on a path that's been unfolding for far longer than you realized. This isn't about chance encounters anymore. It's about alignment. Two lives, two histories, two wounded hearts walking separately for years, and suddenly turning toward the same direction at the exact same moment. There's a precision to it that almost feels supernatural. And the window when this alignment becomes visible to you, it's approaching. From the end of December into the last breaths of March, the air around you becomes charged in a different way. People cross your path more intentionally. Life slows down just enough for your intuition to speak louder than your doubts. And the universe begins nudging you gently, almost lovingly, towards someone whose soul is already tuned to yours. You might meet them sooner than you expect, maybe during a quiet moment in December, when the world is wrapped in celebration and endings, and you're standing somewhere between who you were and who you're becoming. Or maybe they enter in January or February, slipping into your life almost unnoticed at first, the way dawn enters a dark room, softly, gradually, until everything becomes brighter without you realizing when the shift began. And Aries, when I say this connection grows quickly, I don't mean recklessly. It grows with clarity, with purpose, with that feeling of finally exhaling after holding your breath for too long. It's that kind of connection, the one that doesn't demand speed but naturally builds momentum, because both souls recognize the opportunity to finally rest in something real. What you and this person are stepping into is not just attraction, it's the meeting of two frequencies that have been rising, separately, through years of lessons and loss. Both of you learning how to choose better, how to heal deeper, how to love without losing yourselves. And when two souls reach that place at the same time, life brings them together with a force that feels gentle on the outside but powerful underneath. as if the universe has been waiting for the both of you to be ready at the same time. That readiness is the true sign, not a date on a calendar, not a prediction, but the feeling inside you that something in your life is finally opening again, slowly, carefully, like a door that had been stuck for years and now glides forward without resistance. An Aries. The moment you sense that shift, that lightness in your chest, that spark in your intuition, that's when you'll know you're stepping into the space where this person appears. But what's even more beautiful is understanding why this connection feels different from all the others. A truth that rests deeper than timing. A truth that has everything to do with who this person becomes in your life and who you become in theirs. And that, Aries, is where our story gently turns next. Aries. There's a moment in life when love stops feeling like a search and starts feeling like a recognition. A soft inhale. A quiet settling in your chest. A sense that you've just stepped into a story that was written long before you ever knew to look for it. That is the kind of love we're talking about now. This person, they don't enter your world with noise or fireworks. They arrive the way truth arrives, gently, steadily, with that strange familiarity that makes you pause and wonder, why does it feel like I've known you before? And maybe you have, in a different time, a different breath, a different lifetime where both of you promised to find each other again when the lessons were learned and the wounds were ready to close. What makes this love different, Aries, isn't intensity. You've known intensity. You've survived passion that burned too hot and too fast. You've held on to people who could not hold you back. No, what separates this love is the safety. That rare, grounding warmth that wraps around your spirit the moment you stand near them. You don't have to perform. You don't have to guard every word. You don't have to shrink or stretch or shapeshift just to be enough. With them, you can exhale fully. Maybe for the first time in years. And something inside you softens because of it. Not your strength, not your fire. Just that small part of your heart that forgot how it feels to be held without condition. This person doesn't want to test you. They want to build with you, brick by brick, choice by choice. A life that doesn't rely on chaos to feel alive, but on connection, on trust, on two people finally choosing each other with open eyes. They bring joy. Not the kind that spikes and fades, but the kind that grows quietly in the background of your everyday life. They bring freedom, not escape, but expansion. They bring respect, not as a performance, but as a natural language. And with time, they bring commitment, the real kind, the kind that imagines a future and actually takes the steps to make it real. And Aries, I need you to hear this with your whole heart. You are deserving of a love like this, not because you've been strong, not because you've endured so much, but because you've grown into someone who can meet love without losing yourself in the process. That's why this connection feels different, why it feels softer, deeper, more destined. Because it's no longer about filling a void. It's about two complete souls choosing to walk together. And if you listen closely, the universe is already guiding both of you toward the same doorway, slowly narrowing the distance, quietly aligning the timing, preparing your life and theirs for a moment that will feel almost unreal when it finally happens. But it will happen. Because some loves aren't random. Some loves are written. And this one, Aries, this one has been waiting for you to be ready. Now. As we step toward the final truth of this journey, feel how your spirit responds. Something in you already knows you're standing at the edge of a new beginning. One that might just rewrite the way you understand love forever. Aries, as we close this moment together, I want you to remember something simple but powerful. You are not walking toward this love by accident. You are arriving at it because you've done the inner work, the healing, the releasing, the choosing of yourself again and again, even when it felt impossible. And the universe has been watching, quietly moving pieces behind the scenes, clearing out what could not stay, strengthening what needed to grow, preparing your heart for a chapter that finally meets the depth of who you've become. If anything inside you felt seen tonight, if even one sentence landed in a place you've been carrying for too long, take a moment and leave a comment. Let this community hold space for you. Let yourself be witnessed. And if you want to keep walking this journey with me, go ahead and subscribe. There is so much more coming for you, Aries. Messages, confirmations, moments of clarity you won't want to miss, because your story isn't ending here. Not even close. You're stepping into a season where the right people find you, where the right love stays, and where your spirit finally feels at home in its own fire again. So, take a breath. Trust the timing, trust yourself, and when you're ready, come back for the next chapter. The journey continues, Aries, and the next message is already on its way to you.